I just lowered my cholesterol 16 pints by consuming only Honey Nut Cheerios for each and every meal.
Well, I hope none of you guys did that, because as you're about to find out, that would actually be a big mistake. So when I was making my last video on fats, healthy fats and their functions and where to find them, I realized that it'd be really beneficial for me to share some information with you guys regarding some myths about cholesterol. So some of the big ones that you guys have probably heard and most likely still believe, as I have until fairly recently in my research, is that cholesterol is evil. You don't want cholesterol. It has no functional purpose. Eating fat can raise your cholesterol levels, which is bad, and that the higher the cholesterol is in your blood, the more at risk you are for heart disease. Actually, none of those are true, and I'm going to tell you why. So the first thing is that I'm going to talk about some benefits about cholesterol and what it does for you. So the first thing that a lot of people don't know is that it's an antioxidant, which means that it is a electron donor. So what this means is that it helps regulate your body's pH and voltage by donating electrons to free radical oxygen species, which are the free radicals that you hear that you're afraid of, that you can get from oxidized oils and the bad vegetable oils and fried foods. These are the underlying source of a lot of disease and a lot of inflammation, and definitely cancer at the top of that list. So consuming cholesterol can actually keep your body in a less acidic state, which is its more optimal zone. You actually want to be slightly alkaline, slightly above 7 on the pH scale, which correlates with a specific voltage as well, but I won't get too deep into that. Also, serotonin maintenance, in terms of how much serotonin is in your synapses, which is the space between your nerve cells and your brain, is also regulated by cholesterol. So you've probably heard and seen commercials for depression medications like Paxil and Zoloft with the little bloopy guy hopping around. Those are what are called SSRIs, which are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which is basically a fancy way of saying that they are keeping serotonin in the body and recycling it for use. Without cholesterol, you can't make and use serotonin, so those medications wouldn't be very helpful, and they also have a lot more side effects than a healthy diet. In addition to that, half of the dry weight of the brain is in fact cholesterol. So in my last video I was talking about how much of the nervous system is built out of healthy fats. The rest of it is cholesterol and water. Most fat molecules are primarily water, but without cholesterol your brain would be absolute garbage. And over prolonged periods of time, people consuming very low fat, low cholesterol diets, you'll start to see a decline in their brain function and overall markers of health and longevity, because their nervous system is not functioning properly, because it's deteriorating. It constantly rebuilds itself. Every cell in your body, every tissue in your body has a specific amount of time that it takes to rebuild itself, just as a natural recovery process from damage. And so without the right ingredients to build a healthy body, and especially in this case nervous system, you're not going to have a healthy body and you're not going to have a healthy nervous system. So next is adrenal hormone release. So if you think about a guy in primal man times out in the, say, African savanna, he's walking around, maybe he's hunting water buffalo, maybe he's gathering water from the water hole, maybe he's just looking at the clouds, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees a lion looking at him, looking straight at him. He needs to make a decision in a micro instant. He needs to decide, all right, I'm either going to run as fast as I possibly can from this thing so it doesn't eat me, or I need to defend myself and I need to fight this thing. And in order to do that, I need to release, well, he's not thinking this, but his brain is calculating the fact that he needs to send instructions to his body to give him maximum strength to be able to either fight or get the hell out of there. That's what you hear of the fight or flight response. So instructions are sent to his muscles to activate and give him maximal strength and speed. Instructions are sent to his digestive system to shut off, so that all the blood can be diverted to what it needs in that moment to survive, which is not digestion, but fighting and your muscles. So those chemicals are called adrenaline, as well as sometimes they're called epinephrine or norepinephrine. There's also glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. All of these are released by your adrenal glands, which sit right on top of your kidneys in your lower back. So without proper amount of cholesterol, you can't release these hormones. And in addition to this, actually, your adrenal glands to a lesser degree produce some of your sex hormones like testosterone and various androgens. And so in order to keep levels optimal with those, you need some dietary cholesterol as well. So the next thing, those are some of the benefits of cholesterol, but the big correlation that everybody thinks is true is the one between cholesterol levels and heart disease. And so a lot of people did some studies on this stuff to try to figure out, well, is it true? I mean, the more cholesterol we have in our blood, does that mean that we're more susceptible to heart disease? And that's actually false. It's not only false, but it's the opposite of true. What they found, and I really encourage you guys to go check out these studies for yourself, what they found is that as the cholesterol levels went down in a population, the risk for all death went up. Not just death from heart disease, not just death from cancer, Alzheimer's, or getting hit by a car, everything, every single type of death, you are more likely to die at a younger age as your cholesterol levels go down to unhealthy ranges. So that's really important, and it might not seem as profound at first, but I invite you guys to think about that for a couple minutes, because there's a lot of things out there, a lot of foods, cereal boxes saying, oh, eat this and it's going to lower your cholesterol. You might not actually want to lower your cholesterol. And one of the functions of cholesterol that, again, I just learned recently in a book called Healing is Voltage. It gets really, really deep into this stuff in the cholesterol chapter. I'd really encourage you guys to check it out. It's one of the most comprehensive books on nutrition I've ever read. It's awesome. The function of cholesterol is it's a cellular or a cleansing mechanism for your liver. So your liver releases cholesterol as a cleansing agent for itself. So if you went to the store and you bought some shampoo and you were cleaning your hair, and you wouldn't say, oh, your hair's dirty because you're using shampoo. It's quite the opposite, right? And it's the exact same thing with cholesterol. So if you see someone who has elevated cholesterol levels for an extended period of time, it's not because they're eating too much fat. It's not because they're eating too much organic, pasture-raised, free-range, organic, cruelty-free, uncured bacon. It's because their liver's in trouble, most likely, and most doctors don't know this information. They don't think about this information because they haven't been taught it. And medical school does really not do a good job of teaching things about nutrition and the gut microbiome and a lot of really key stuff to health and longevity. Unfortunately, most doctors are financed by the pharmaceutical companies, and those companies have a vested interest in keeping people sick, because if they're not sick, they don't need their pills anymore, and they don't need their health recommendations, because you don't need to go to the doctor. If you're in good condition, what need do you have to go get a prescription from wherever you get your prescriptions filled? You wouldn't need to. So you really need to be careful who you trust with this stuff. It's a wonderful thought to think that these big conglomerates are on our side and looking out for us. And I'm sure a lot of them have the best intentions, but you really need to do your own research. So go out on your own, study this stuff, self-experiment. If you're going to take one thing out of this video, it's question everything. Question yourself, question your teachers, question everybody you see on YouTube, question books, doctors especially. You need to be your own source of information, and that comes through your own research, your own experimentation, looking at things from different angles. So that's pretty much everything on cholesterol. I really hope this helped you guys. I know this information is kind of new to a lot of you probably. It's definitely new to me, but if you were a type of person who was avoiding high cholesterol foods like eggs, especially pastured eggs or really clean bacon, rethink this. Again, do some research on your own. Don't just take my word for it, but you actually might be surprised at what you find, because a lot of the things that we're told to avoid right now are actually the things that we should be consuming the most of. And along with that, it's the exact opposite with things like carbohydrates and stuff that they always told us were really good sources of energy, and vitamins and things like that. And we're actually finding out that that's not the case. So if this resonates with you, please watch it again, or send me a comment or a question or a criticism or anything you can add. Tell a friend about it. Feel free to subscribe to the page, check out some of the other videos, and I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Thanks. Have a good day.